hello unknown, and welcome to your July 2016 episode of Out of the Vault. If you'd like to take a look at all of the other reviews of Disney canon classics that I have done up until this point, there is a playlist provided in the box below. And today we are going to take a look at the 22nd animated classic from 1977. It was actually the first time in a long while in which two Disney classics simultaneously came out in the span of 1 year. And this one was not necessarily one that had needed so much effort to put together, because it was basically a consolidation of 3 award-winning shorts. But it is one of the more memorable ones because it features some of the most lovable characters in Disney history, and that, of course, is the film The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Of course, based on the characters created by A.A. Milne, and featuring the voices of Sterling Holloway as Winnie the Pooh and Paul Winchell as Tigger. I always loved Winnie the Pooh, but for some strange reason, I had never actually seen this movie as a whole. I had actually seen this movie broken up in parts when it was the Disney Sunday Night Movie or something like that on ABC. I had seen Winnie the Pooh and the Honey Tree, and I had also seen Winnie the Pooh and Tigger too, but I had only seen pieces of Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day, so I was very excited to finally see this movie as one whole film. I had reviewed its follow-up, the 51st classic, which I will be looking forward to re-watching and re-reviewing very soon, which was just titled Winnie the Pooh. This movie is nothing but 90 minutes of pure, unadulterated innocence. There are plenty of morals, there's plenty of meaningful things, there are definitely some points in time that are going to make you smile from ear to ear, and even some parts that are going to make you laugh, and parts that are going to make you frightened, and even parts that are going to make you shed a tear. This is the most simplest of stories that Disney has ever given us. And Winnie the Pooh is just this little bear that is in Christopher Robin's mind along with all of his friends, and it's just a time in their lives and how they spend their days, how they overcome problems, how they set apart each other's differences and work together as a team. And of course you got a fantastic narrator and some really smart things involving what I like to call wordplay in the book. The stories are very cute. They're so simple but just so adorable and fun to watch. You can't watch this movie and not smile when you hear Pooh say, "Oh bother." It's just darling. That's all I'm going to say. It's darling. And it was also really nice to revisit some of the things that I had seen such a long time ago, and I remembered Winnie the Pooh and Tigger 2 very, very distinctly because I had that taped on video cassette, and I had watched that hundreds and hundreds of times, and Paul Winchell voicing Tigger is just absolutely awesome. But all the other characters are memorable too. Kanga and Roo, Piglet is such a joy, Owl, Eeyore, it's just one of those characters you just want to jump into the screen and give a big hug to. Gopher, who is not in the books, but he's actually put into these stories because of Disney, and he is definitely there for some serious comic relief. And of course, you've also got the grumpy old rabbit. And you can also see that these were actually shorts that were combined into one movie because the animation from part 1 to part 3 actually really improved from an animation's perspective. And you do have some parts where you do sort of see the sketchy lines, but at the same time you really don't care because it feels like this is a story being told to you. So it only makes sense for the animation to look the way it is. And yet for some reason, as great as this movie is, I don't really think that it's perfect. Maybe it's just because of the fact that I've grown up so much and some of this is just a little too childish and too cutesy for me, because one of the few things that sort of made my skin crawl a tiny bit were the songs in the movie. The songs are great. I mean, Tigger's Are Wonderful Things is a classic Disney song, but these are the types of songs that if you put 3-year-olds in front of the TV, they're just going to bounce all over the living room and just love it. But adults, they're going to smile, but they're just not going to feel that innocence. Although it is great to revisit that innocence. And probably one of the greatest parts of the movie is the ending, when Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh are just walking into the sunset, and Christopher Robin's about to go away to school, and he just asks Pooh, "Will you ever forget me?" And it's just something very heartwarming to see that there is just that little piece of your childhood that you just don't want to let go of, and Pooh and his friends resemble that innocence of your childhood. And that's why when you pop this movie in, you return to that childhood, and you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. But then when the movie is over, you just go snapped back into reality, and you just say to yourself, okay, it's time to move on with life, we'll watch this movie another time. But I'm the proud owner of this movie. It's not one of those movies that I am just going to pull right off of the shelf and watch over and over and over again, but it is one of those movies that you kind of have to have in your collection, just because you need that innocence, and you need that pureness in your life sometimes when life can get a little bit down on you. But it is still a very good movie, definitely one of Disney's most heartwarming. So I'm going to be giving The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh 3.5 out of 4. I appreciate the fact that you came to watch today. Please put your comments in the box below, and let's have a conversation about The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the next Out of the Vault, and hopefully somewhere down the line where I will re-watch and re-review Winnie the Pooh as well. So I'll see you in the next one, and actions speak louder than words.